Sony, වසර තුනක වගකීම සමග සිංග වෙතින්ම පමණයි.
The month of May is a time of concern for Sri Lanka each year as the country braces for the southwest monsoon. During this period, floods, landslides and earthslips have become a common occurrence, claiming many lives and leaving thousands displaced. Faced with a disaster situation each year, the country scrambles in search for an effective forecast and flood management system, owing to the lack of a tried and tested method. Over the past 10 years, Sri Lanka has reported approximately 1,000 deaths due to inclement weather conditions brought on by the monsoon season. Last year alone, the death toll was 213, while 415,600 persons were affected by natural disasters. This year's number of deaths stand at 24 thus far, with over 174,000 people being hit with the adverse weather effects of the heavy downpour. It is identified that people residing in low-lying areas in close proximity to River Ging, Kalu, Nilvala and Kalani are most likely to be affected by floods during this season. Satellite images show that certain tributaries of major rivers Ging, Kalu, Nilvala and Kalani are unable to bear the sudden increase in the volume of water brought on by heavy rains. Therefore, it calls to question if Sri Lanka has an effective flood and river management system to ensure that there is a proper interaction between precipitation and drainage basin response. Speaking to First at 9, Director General of the Department of Irrigation, Engineer S. Mohanaraja said that a proposal has been put forward to widen certain areas of rivers which create a bottleneck effect as a measure towards flood mitigation.
Actually, if we can widen the river, it is very easily we can manage the flood. With the available sensor or automated water level gauges, we can easily say we can manage the flood if it is wider. But the problem is, in most populated area, the people has encouraged the land and they are very close to the river bank. In some places, they are in our flood band. So, in that case, it is very difficult to widen the river. So, that's what we have the proposals. In some that places, we are going to put a concrete wall and then we are going to demarcate the land and the flood plain by increasing to manage more flood.
Director General of the Department of Irrigation, however, raised concerns on the required funding for large-scale projects in this regard.
We are proposing a sea outlet permanent structure in the Kaluthura river mouth for the Kaluganga area to reduce the flood of the Kaluthura town. Pre-feasibility report has been prepared. For the feasibility and implementation, we don't have a big amount of money and we need big amount of money and we are finding donors and there is no donors coming for that. And we are trying to do it phase by phase. So first we started doing the designs of the sea outlet. So I think once you finish the sea outlet, it's a permanent structure, we have to go for a very good technology with the international level because we know once you disturb one side of the land and that will disturb the other side. So that is the nature. So we have to study properly and we have to do a hydraulic model on that particular section and we have to go for a new advanced technology. That's what we are asking the international consultant to manage the flood.
However, residents living in close proximity to the river Kalani along the Sedavat-Ambatale road say that although widening the river is welcomed, it has to be carried out effectively.
The river itself has already eroded, on both river banks by the river itself. So we have to make remedies, new devices to control the floods.
We cannot stop natural disasters from happening, but what we require is a proper mechanism to minimize these disasters. What has happened here is that there is no proper mechanism for accumulated water to disperse from the area. During different periods, there are persons who do these projects, such as widening this river, for instance, but they do this for their own benefit. They have not even finished the construction of this area where they have laid rocks along the riverbank to halt erosion.
According to research group leader for water risks and disasters for the International Water Management Institute, Giriraj Amarnath, floods have become a bigger challenge to disaster agencies and is more intense than in previous decades. He added that when it comes to flood risk reduction measures, relevant stakeholders need to look at the whole process collectively with an integrated approach. He also highlighted that although widening rivers can minimize floods to a certain extent, there is a need for better flood forecast and early warning that could advise communities living in vulnerable regions. Amarnath further noted that prevention plans, which consist of both medium to long-term plan in flood management, are the need of the hour, and by having a robust plan in place, stakeholders could transfer residual risk through financial instruments, including flood index insurance, where the affected population will receive compensation quickly to mitigate the damages.